What is up? Workbringer here, and today we're going to be checking out a Spires of Ascension +7, and I forget what I'm going to call this, or I haven't figured it out yet, but this is my redemption story, because I was pushing 7s, and I was a little bit lower gear. It was earlier in the week, which means everyone's lower gear, but anyway, pushing a 7, and it went terribly wrong. And we actually finished it. We just didn't time it by like 15 seconds, but there were a couple of things that I now remember this place for that reason. And today I was like, you know what? It's time to actually finish this 7. I've actually, since that last run that I spoke of that didn't go well, that we finished, but still didn't go great, was not happy with it at all. I have altered my route, and I now consider this to be a pretty safe pug route. I think it's pretty good. There are a lot of gotchas, though, and I'm going to kind of break those down for you here. But yeah, this is like, has this only been the first week of Mythic Plus? I feel like I've done them so many times. But something I've learned here is that if you run right out, and we melt there, that was pretty high DPS, is that it's really good to just take these packs together. Now, I'm in a bad place because I do not have an interrupt, and I'm using my shield pretty liberally for DPS. I should have held it for Rebellious Fist. That's my job. Now, we don't have voice comms, and I just joined a guild and did a couple runs with voice comms, and it's really my preferred because in that case, I can just be like, hey, I don't have a kick for Rebellious Fist. Could we do that? But now that I, as the tank, have let that Rebellious Fist go off, I think everyone here knows that, okay, tank not reliable, so we're going to start doing it, which is good. That's what I want. I'd like to sit on Rebellious Fist. I should always have it. See, I have a shield, but it's questionable. It's like I lose a lot of DPS by not using it, and I'm thinking about it, and I'm letting some other casts go off. But it's really where either we have someone that has like an AOE stun / kick, like a shaman. Was that me? Someone got it there. Or you're on voice comms and you call it. But anyway, yeah, not my favorite start to this is letting the big AoE go off. It's such a slow cast to painfully watch it go. I need to save Rebuke. I think Rebuke comes back in time for it. And I might have to forego a little bit of shield, Avengers shield DPS, which means, shield the righteous DPS, to really make sure that doesn't go off. So let's see if I've learned my lesson. That going off like almost never happens. It's kind of a sign of a bad run. If that goes off ever, I almost never see it. But anyway, I give all the Divine Toll goodness there for a big pull. And do I get it? I believe we double interrupted it, which is even worse. But it's good that the other paladin got it. I think I'm saving possibly the shield. Let's see if I get it. Does someone get it? Yeah, that looked like it was me, probably using the Avenger shield. It's really my job. And then, okay, when he goes to recharge, we're in a pretty safe place. I mean, we're burning down. Like, look at the monk and the ret. I don't even know what eye level that is. I'm not really sure. Well, like, that's my like burst window is like 10k. Okay, I even get that one. Okay, we've redeemed ourselves here. Now, this is not a perfect run, right? This is not a flawless run. And I would say that 7 and higher is the end of face tanking. I can no longer face tank, meaning just sit there and pop cooldowns and mitigation and survive. And this dungeon is very much the example of that. And okay, that's dodgeable, but where I was I'm just kind of in like a weird place. But anyway, so one thing I learned about this fight, turning your back, not the best. That could have been worse. I did end up dodging it by distance. The best thing to do is to bring her behind the ether worm or whatever and cleave them together. So my avenging shield hits twice, which gives me more DPS, and then I'm cleaving both because they have a shared life pool. The time I did this before, I didn't do that. I wasn't doing double pulls. I think I have the spear. Yeah, that happened. Okay. I wasn't double pulling the first part because I think in an organized group, if we had like really good interrupts ranged, we could pull the entire first thing together. It's just a long time to make the casters walk, so it'd be kind of annoying. But anyway, I'm a little bolder with the double pulls now just to keep things sped up. It's still not dodging the overhead slash. It's kind of quick though. It's not like Diminuendo where you have like a very long time. And because of the way I'm kiting her around, I'm kind of dropping a lot of AoE damage on people. So it's not the cleanest, right? And so this is my redemption run. So you can imagine how bad my bad run went. But anyway, we get, the boss is very low and I get rebirthed. And yeah, a lot of damage. And the pools, as you go to 7, I really think it's 7 that ticks over. I think I did a 6. The black pools on the ground in this instance are very bad at this level. Like you die quickly. And I have a lot of stamina. So it's recovered, right? Scuffed, but recovered. Again, not a flawless victory, but TLDR, we time it, right? So you can rest assured that we do time. But it's not a perfect run, but so I'm still learning. I think I had been doing that kiting on like a Spires 5 or 6, and it wasn't so bad, but the black pools, it kind of gives me pause about how much. Now, that's super dangerous to jump forward like that. You'll see as soon as they were done being stunned, they jump to the opposite of kind of like where I am. And so if they had come undone when I jumped forward, they would have gone behind me, making this pull kind of bad. Now, I'm actually still mostly keeping threat. These are super annoying, but I have a very precise under 10 route, and it involves them. Because while they're annoying, they're not dangerous. The other pack in this room has the ether worms, and those have insidious venom, which I have a weak ore for now. Bursting's over there. My bursting just fell off. Those ether worms are bad, and they are wipey. I've wiped to them even on lower keys. Those are wipey. If no one, I'm losing thread here, but if no one is kicking them. So the main thing, am I going to eat this slash in the face? It looks like I dodged it. The main thing I'm trying to do here is that we have one of those jumpy ones here, and I'm trying to not stand in the pool, but kind of face the jumpy one into the wall. Is my main goal, and to roughly just keep them cleavable, because we've got a ret, we've got this monk. We just want everything kind of... Am I going to eat that? No, look. Okay, I move. Just keep everything kind of together, and then this one now cannot jump away. You're just going to jump into the wall. So that's pretty much as clean as you can do that room. I forget if I was eating any of the overhead slashes. So what's nice in PUGS, however, for this next little flyover is I have some time to type. And I write, please interrupt this pull or I will die. These are brutal on higher keys and you can't kite them. Okay, so that was kind of bad because they started to fly away, but we regroup them up. We need to AoE stun these. So I'm stunning stuff. Monk does leg sweep. Lovely. I think that was the Locks AoE stun. Pretty good. The black stuff, which if you step on that, you're dead in like a couple seconds. We're pretty good. But then look at those 3 stacks. You see that lightning bolt stack there? Look at my health. Look at my health just dying. Right? That's when the hots wore off, and I'm like, oof, wow. I almost died to like residual insidious venom dots. That's how bad it is. So there is an invisible here. And if that does stun me, meaning we don't get it out of stealth, I eat a volcano because I'm not used to volcanic. I think I stunned that one. Nah. But at least we're kind of grouped. I've lost threat on the instigator back there, but the paladin who's probably given her the business with the 2-hander interrupts her. So that's good. So we're all relatively stacked together, not standing in the black circle and interrupting what we can. Mostly the Inquisitor. Is there a Mender here? I can't tell. But that Stealth Claw also has not been hitting me too bad because that Stealth Claw, I track it now, does swipe. So it's basically like, oh, is it swipe? Oh, it might be rake. It's basically like a feral druid, but the dots get really bad, especially in packs. So pretty clean here as well. Like it a lot. Thank you to all the AoE stuns. Okay, so here's how we handle this one. They're in the end. We're going to Blessing of Freedom, run into it so they can't stun me, drop const, there they are, and run. Run away. Don't even try to get cute. Just give him the shield. Oh, there's 1 tick of that rake. We do not want that. Big old weak aura now for that one. Ring of Peace, love it. Super love it. This is how you do higher keys. You just, I go get the spear. That's how much I'm like, we're Ring of Peace and slowing. So I'm like, okay, dokie. And that was close and I run. But yeah, that spear is crucial to this next pull. Let me tell you. So we have pretty high DPS, and I still have to kite like a madman. And we're gonna see that multiple times. And the one time, I think we die a bunch, but like the full wipes are actually a mispull on my part. Being over anxious, I need to have a chill and make sure we do it right. This one, very dangerous. We're going to take this. I am going to Divine Shield out, and then I'm going to drop this right here on everyone. And they are Omega stunned for quite a while. I'm like, please save your AoE kick and your stuns, because they just sit there and instantly 3 stacks of that dot and I can die. I'm like, this is bad now, and I need to run. I consecrate, which is big now. I have the talent for making consecrate big and for being a slow, and people generally know I'm like, I'm afraid and I'm running. Okay, so let me explain why this is bad. Also, those 4 stacks of kitty swipe, real bad. So what I do here is I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I can take just this pack. I don't normally do that, but because I pulled it with a shield, it pulled the back venom dudes, and those hurt. There's 1 tick of venom. It's bad, right? Like, this is like way too much damage. I think I get rebirthed, but there's no saving this. That was completely botched. Maybe I shouldn't even have accepted. I should have just been like, nah, wipety wipe. Yeah. So that's what happened. That patrol you want to handle separately, ideally. And we didn't get the big guy, but unfortunately, this was me learning you cannot pull that that way. Maybe with just a hammer. Too sketch. Way too sketch. I don't know if we even kill any of these worms, which would be like, yeah, kind of helpful. But the venom, that venom dot, I don't think is dispellable. I'm not so sure. I maybe could have tried to do a vial, but yeah, this is over. Right, this is I think this is the first full wipe. I've definitely died a bunch, but I'm the tank, Tank's not supposed to, but anyway, I'm typing at this point, right? I tell them we're still gonna time. I always write that. That's like, we're not talking a lot in this one. I'm just like, we're still timing this, right? Just putting that out there. No one's like leaving or anything, but just saying we're gonna time it. And I'm asking, is that a double pull? And everyone said no. They're like, that was a single pull. But it was. And I realized it as I was getting back there. I'm having to think about this. I'm like, how did that go so wrong? Because that's actually a pretty easy section of this. That's why I go this way. The other way has 2 of the big Goliaths. Don't like that part. I don't like that part at all. Going left, pretty safe. This is not the hard part. I will show you the hard part, and it's hilarious. I was like, I want to make a clip of this and be like, this is tanking in 2020. For the hard pack, there is what the boss of this instance is the pack after this section, and it is hard to live. Even as a prop paladin where we have immunities and just all the things, it's so hard to live there. Anyway, if you look, you see that those nether, whatever those are called, ether worms or whatever, that's part of that Goliath pull. And so what I did is I did double pull them, but I didn't pull the Goliath. So it's actually like the Goliath and the worms are a separate pack, but I always pull them together. As you'll see here, I should have just waited. Had I just waited, we wouldn't have wiped, right? So let me get a health stone. That's never a bad thing. Everyone very patient and understanding so far. Now I do what I should have done. This is what it should have looked like a minute ago. Wait for the patrol and just run back over here. Now, very dangerous is that Rebellious Fist, and I get it from downtown. You see that? Divine Toll from downtown? Sketch. I need to kind of walk with him back down here, or, if it's a 4 stacks of bad stuff. I think I got that one too. I'm eating 4 stacks of that dot is real tough. Like, I can hear the Swiftmans going off in the back. It's like, whoa. Like, it's a lot of damage to get through that, but this Resto Druid is probably pretty geared. So even that was a little dicey. I should have walked the Force 1 Goliath back a little bit, but I'm trying to kite the worms, and it takes a while for that patrol to really make it over. So I should have taken that a little slower, but I did downtown it with Divine Toll. Thank you for we had that long walk back, gave me Divine Toll back. It's like a 1 minute cooldown. This goes fine. Again, I try to just keep everyone together. None of the casts are like especially bad. They're just all bad, right? So I basically take whatever I can. I've got a Hodge. I Hodge the Inquisitor just to take him out of the equation for a second here. And I've got a Rebuke, and I'm just trying to use my shield. Try to hold it back a little bit and just actually... Did I do that? I missed it. Global cooldowns is a thing. Interrupt what I can. Keep them together. Let everyone cleave it up. And yeah, we're doing good deeps right now, and we've recovered this, right? So just it's a lesson learned, and even if someone was like go right, this is very common in a pug. This pug was quite, it didn't have anything like that. No one saying anything or trying to like alter the routes or whatever. It's when people like say like just go, that sort of stuff. It's like, yeah, let's just go, and then we wipe on a double pull because you wipe on a double pull. Now, this is a pretty nasty one, but it's not the nasty one, but it's still like a divine shield type of pull. I'm chilling here. This is where voice comms helps. I have avenging and divine toll. You wait. Avenging, shield, divine toll. That's your ideal pull that's the ideal pull for like however many mobs this is. And these are okay, we have some good stuns coming out. These are not chill mobs. These fly all over the place. They've got very like that diminuendo goes forward in a cone, but then also goes in a square around her, like a plus sign, which is very like Shadowlands. I'm just standing in the white, in the red. Someone dies, and jumping over that hurts a lot. I imagine in like a 10, I'd probably die from jumping over that. But thus begins the kite or die. This is it. This is actually a pretty bad pull. I'm glad I remembered that. Okay, so I'm getting venom, which is bad, right? And I'm going to get swipe damage, which is also bad. So like both that one worm and that one like lionel thing, I forget what they're called, they are super dangerous. And this is a kitey moment on kind of a small platform with volcanic bursting and these black puddles everywhere, and I am just running around. But I'm alive. The scary thing is, or the messy thing, other than this is just messy. I don't even think this was that the hard one? That might have been the hard one, actually. I take it back. I take it back completely. That was rough. Notice my lack of any cooldowns left. I have none. No cooldowns. I take it back. That was the pull. That was the hard one. I didn't even remember. I should remember, but it's like you kind of want to go that one with Divine Shield. I don't think I can live through that without Divine Shield, to be honest, which is a pure immunity. Unless this, and people were stunning out of the gate, but like you basically have to interrupt everything. So that was pretty clean. One person died because I'm kiting diminuendo or what are the crescendo, whatever the big frontal cone is, I'm kiting it around. So as I'm running around, it just like randomly they'll just do a frontal cone in like some random direction, and that might that might just clip somebody because they can't get out. So there is a trick to keeping him on the first spawn of those shooty boys. And you'll see that this fight goes on for a long time because we have no lust in this comp, which is big rip. That makes this very hard. This fight wants to be done in phase 2. When this goes into recharge mode, you want it to be dead, and I don't think we get that. Though we're doing okay, but we want it to be deader faster. Anyway, there's a trick that we want to kill it here. We do not. There's a trick to putting them all on top of each other, or 2 of them at a time. But it is pretty dicey, and I think without voice comms, I think this is better. Though I just ate 1. I think I eat 2. Luckily, I've stammed up. I've got a stamina cloak with a stamina enchant. I got like decent stamina. I really need stamina trinkets. Would be lovely. But I'm not one-shottable from those yet, or at all. So pretty clean. Didn't wipe on the Omega pull, and that's the hardest part of the dungeon as long as you have a strat for the end. And I have the strat from watching plus 15s, where those last 3 ads will destroy you. So far, we've killed everything along the way, right? So that's pretty straightforward. However, what I do here is 1 skip and 2 LOS pulls, and this is what I recommend for, what's it called? For PUGS. Now, going left has that Omega, oh no, either way you're doing that Omega pull before the boss. And yeah, I take it back. It's that one before the Praetor boss, like the flying around one. That's the pull that's hard. Yeah, all my cooldowns, and I kite like crazy. It's hard. It's like work. Anyway, I tell people don't take my spear. Don't you dare. I tell people that now, like for the Kyrian ones, I'm like, don't take my weapons. Don't you dare. That weapon has a purpose. And because I get to skip a bunch of the hard packs, I get to save it for where it really, really counts. And I'll explain that too. From my point of view, crescendo, you don't want to be behind. There's a plus sign, you know, like in front, behind, and side, and then especially in front. And there's a lot of ads that do that, like super ads. I don't know what we call them, but there's a lot of ads that do that in this mobs that do that in this expansion, and they are dangerous. I've died in Plaguefall by underestimating how much damage that does. So I get really lost here. I do this skip, and I'm like, hey, let's get everyone there. And I see the druid like on the mini map, and I thought the druid was behind us, but they're just really far ahead of us because they went into mount form. I was like, there's no way that druid's that far ahead of me. Like, what happened? And so I'm the slow idiot waiting for that. And the druid just like went a million miles per hour. You can warlock skip this, which is I think what they're doing, but I need the count. You can skip this pack by going warlock up there, but that means you got to pick it up somewhere else. And this is pretty easy. As far as trash goes, I mean, there's things, but you stop Rebellious Fist, you stop Great Mending, and these aren't so bad. Mostly in the Mender, the Warden is not too much damage. I mean, I'm not the healer, but I don't think I've ever wiped this pack, right? So letting Fist go off would have possibly been one of those wipes. But this is these are pretty easy packs together, and they're just like efficient for DPS too. Like there's no chasing anything, which is the hard part and the annoying part of this dungeon are those javeliners or whatever it's called when they like jump away. So we LOS both of them. Now you cannot get any closer to count than how I do it. Like I think I'm like 0.1. I'm like it's like 100 and like 0.5 count or something like that. It's very dicey. It makes me nervous every time. Though I did this on lower keys a couple times today, just to keep testing it, and I just run it over and over until I feel like I'm ready for a 9, which I want more stamina. I want stamina trinkets, really. Like level 200, like I'll run 7s, which is like you'll get basically level 200 gear. I want 200 everything. I don't know. I just want level 200 everything enchanted. I want full armor, right? Full stam. I'm in a guild now, and I do have some like kind of normal groups that I'm running. And yeah, I want level 200 trinks at least. I want like super stamina. I want to be 50k, and it just makes it a little forgiving, right? Crescendo doesn't even go off, right? Boom. Okay, so here comes the skippity skip, right? So I'm like, hey, I type it, everyone stand here. I drop the consk, and I'm like, do it. Everyone should kind of get that. So these normally are so annoying, and it's kind of stressful watching them like run over with their little wings. Those at level 7, +7, they actually hurt a lot and they're random targeted, so it's kind of annoying. So we just LOS them together. Yep, the stun is like that. Is that the warlock stun? Just it's easy, and they're low health but kind of high damage, right? So that gets us 86. That's not enough. Upstairs will give us 12% ish. Mythic Dungeon Tool is not always perfect on count, but I think it's been fine for Spires. We just need a little bit more, and this is a little bit more, and they just come to us. What if this was how the game worked? It's like Dota. Now we're in Volcanic, so it's a little bit like I think we all eat a couple of these volcanoes, but Volcanic's not that bad. It's not ideal, but you know that's a real easy way to pick up a little bit of count. And so we're 88%, and upstairs is 12%. So it's really close, but you kind of can't forget it. Like I try to do runs where it's not like what's dangerous about Hall's Atonement is that there's so many little mobs and patrols, and if someone grabs a gargoyle, it can kind of throw off the route. There's just a lot of it's kind of a dark place and a lot of variables on that main courtyard on like what you want to pull. Not here really. I basically kill everything, do one skip. We almost die in there. I don't know what happened. I think again on voice comms I would tell people it's like I'm pulling to the right and you all stack, but that and a pug I just like everyone at this eye level like queuing for a 7. You've done this like probably 20 times, 30 times. I've done this a lot, right? Between normal, heroic, and maybe even beta, you've done it hundreds of times if you're like that. But nothing too remarkable about this. Again, no lust. This kind of a big boy here. And I think when it comes to next week, if it's tyrannical where the boss has more, it's like when we're putting the groups together, it's like if I join as a pug and I come in and there's no lust mechanic, I'm like, I gotta go. Like, that's all. It's like we're not downing this without like reliable lust, unless we're doing prideful like +10. But even then, it's like I still think you need something. You need a hunter, you need a shaman, you need a mage, we need some lust. So starting to feel that here. Okay, here's where you lust. The recharge phase, I believe he takes more damage. The spheres. Oh yeah, we're soaking these. Our healers just eating them, but must have probably bopped like a iron bark or whatever their personal version of iron bark is. Bark skin, I forget. The healer just eating them, or someone's eating them back there, but they survive it. And I think that hit him. I tried to block it, but I think his hitbox is so big that I didn't. So maybe that's what makes this go a little bit longer. Anyway, the tank really shouldn't be trying to get those too much, other than we have a lot of HP. It's just that we might drag the boss into them. So that's what I've kind of learned from that. And so I'm arcing back in because we actually isolated our warlock. I was like really worried if I kept going right. One, that we could pull the pack that I skipped, and two, we just isolate the warlock. So I ran back here, and yeah, we're clean here. So remember that spear that I have? The redemption story here is that there is an approach to this at higher keys, right? Higher than 5. There is an order that is meta. You can actually kill them left to right or right to left, as I've done it. But I would say that the meta is that people expect you, if they expect anything, they expect you to kill the one on the left, then the middle, then the one on the right. And that's the order I do it in. I read into it on take notes. I was like, you could do either. But even in a Dratnos, I think, is like he probably does a lot, but I know him as like a demon hunter tank. He pulls it the other way and it's fine on a 15 or something like super high. And it's like, okay, well, it can be done. But what happens here is that each of these angels has a power. And when they die, all the other ones go to full health, so you can't pull them together or something like that. And they absorb the power of the last one. So that's a council fight type thing. And so it kind of matters sometimes. So this one's the easiest. He does not have any dots. You'll notice that, or any debuffs. You'll see that on my screen, my weak ward, there's nothing there, but we'll look at them in a little bit. I'm typing to them. I'm like, please lust the last boss. And they're like, we got no lust. I'm like, oh, okay. Maybe I should buy drums, right? And I'm going to get Jeeves and just, trying to get up there. I think someone dies. No, are they back already? I actually thought this was a gauntlet, but it's not, luckily. So you can actually de-aggro in between, I think. Yeah, see, we're not aggroed right now, so just a little bit of time, but no big deal, right? So you'll see on the right now, I believe that's called oppression, and we're at 2 stacks, and it's just this ticking ouchie. That's pretty easy to dodge, though I've almost gotten thrown off the edge. She also now has that guy's ground targeted thing where she makes a black circle on the ground. You don't want to stand on it, and she does diminuendo. So I don't think anyone's behind me. She's also doing charged spear, which can definitely hurt. And oppression is stacking up. Oppression is bad. I forget if it's like if it is the ticking damage or it's increasing how much damage you take. Either way, this is now unsafe stacks. You're seeing that like the health bars are getting a little bit. Someone just dies. They're just dying to oppression. 16 oppression stacks plus these spears going out is what I'm guessing happens. So I'm actually like a little concerned about wipe festing because I'm like, I think I was under the impression I was like, oh no, is this a gauntlet? But we de-aggro, drop combat, and we're gonna be able to res. And 947, assuming no wipes, completely fine. Honestly, maybe even wiping to this one angel is possible. But yeah, we're fine, right? I don't think I'm sweating it. We're not two chesting this, but whatever. I tell them to destroy this boss, and they do. Because now we have oppression stacks, and I dropped the spear. So oppression stacks are still accumulating, it looks like, yeah. So the stacks are still happening, but they're not attacking. And we're like, that was my lust. Basically, I speared them. That's the strat that a lot of people are doing. I need to pull us away from that pool on the ground. I wasn't paying attention to that. Oppression stacks going up. So now we have 2 of these dots, and this is where people start dying, right? 10, 11 of both. Don't want that. Right, so you usually lust it too. On fortified That's the boss. That last one. Because at the end, just everyone pops and dies. And I've seen that before. I've seen it get really close anyway. Like I'm popping all my cooldowns and like, that sort of thing. So this is I am now the spear expert. I don't really miss anymore. I wait. This one I actually do it a little bit dicey. You can completely dodge that. Anyone that gets hit by that needs to work on it. I've been hit by it before too. I need to tank her closer to the bubble. I didn't really notice where the bubble is. And the monk also didn't notice that part. Not sure why. But battle res, thank goodness. So I don't think we want to tank her in the bubble. But yeah, I think someone got hit by that too. But we're fine. We're fine. And okay, yeah, back in the bubble. You're supposed to keep her there so you can still hit her. Monk died again. Monk died twice. You can see that he was like barrel rolling in, whatever this spell is. But played it a little bit too close. better to play it safe and lose some DPS, especially because all we do is trigger a second phase, right? Like not a big deal. Or is this is the first arrow? So I tell everyone in the beginning, I'm like, don't stress it. I'm doing arrow, right? Show the confidence. And yeah, so that was a bad waste of Divine Steed. Do I even get one of the orbs? Yeah, I got the close orb. So what a fail. We're waiting, and I'm like, let's get this arrow. And boom, I see her moving, but it was sketch. It was through the angel. Hit her in the wing. Whew, we got her. So on the next one, I do it like safer, but I believe I saw her moving to position while I was in it. Little sketch. To be honest, it's more the second phase where the damage is even higher. The damage that ticks the whole time, I think, is worse by second phase. It's that one you really want to get it as fast as possible, but missing is wipe sometimes. This healer is pretty geared or something, but missing can be a wipe as the damage gets higher and higher. So to build up my confidence in being able to do it, am I going to get hit by this? No, not bad. I do the arrow every time, and I'm going for consistency here. So I've done like all the mechanics. I've like gamed this, right? Like that Omega pull where I'm just kite, all cooldowns, kite. We're doing it. I'm using the spear on the dangerous lions, and I'm using the spear on the dangerous angel at the end. I think this is like full capacity tank in this place. No prideful yet, where the full capacity is designing a route where prideful comes at a great time. But other than that, I think I have the core mechanics down, and it's a tricky place, let me tell you. Okay, so here, we're waiting. Oh no, I just gave it to her? Oh my god. I would wait. But look at the health bars. You don't want to wait too long. You wait, and you're looking at the health bars like everyone's at 50, everyone's at 40. And so we're only 10% because we didn't have lust, or I don't know. Maybe we're a little lower, but we actually get another one of these Archon Bastions off. That's not normal. Usually they're dead by now, but we're very close anyway. Yeah. Anyway, that is the redemption story of Spires of Ascension +7. I'm like, they have the dots. I'm like, don't kill me. +1 on the 7 feels good, mostly because this is kind of a challenging one in a good way. I like it. So rip to me, I already have a level 200 cape, and that one is crit haste, which is worse for me than haste verse. Haste verse is like, haste is my number one, verse is very good. Best is haste mastery. I don't need it, right? Really good group, and I'm just like, does anyone need this? And I believe the Warlock said that they would want it. I don't know if it's like ideal for them. Oh yeah, it can be anything, right? So that can be any class who doesn't have their 200 cape yet. Mythic 7, I think Mythic up to 9 is still end of dungeon is still 200. So I give it to the Warlock. So that feels good. I wish, obviously, I'm farming 7s. That's like my ideal. But yeah, that's Spires. Those are the things I've learned by tanking it. That's how I'm approaching it. That's my route. And I'm going to try to get into some 8 and 9s as I gear up. And then 10s someday. No huge rush. See you next time.